If I wanted to sum up basically the theme of this webinar, it would be play the long game. You know, you're not gonna get there tomorrow, you're not gonna get there in a month, but if you keep working at it over time, keep looking for opportunities, keep staying hungry, keep volunteering, keep reaching out to other people, you know, you're gonna make it. There's no doubt about that. I think that's the story that everybody shared here, is that it wasn't just one step and they're there. There was a series of steps, a series of missteps, rejection, failure, but ultimately success. And now they are where they are, you know, and the story is just really beginning, because space as a whole is really beginning, especially in Africa. So there's a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of ways you can take it, and it's something that really is an investment into the future.
So to start off, my full name is Sihana Lina Williams. I am Ghanaian and I'm currently working with Microsoft Norway, and I'm located now in Norway.
All right, so thank you so much, Nelly and Kwaku, and thanks to the Space Hub Africa for putting this together. I'm happy and privileged to be part of this panel.
So as some of you may know, I'm from Morocco. I'm from Tangier, which is a little, well, it's not little actually, it's quite big city in the north of Morocco. It's just under Spain. We're like 14 kilometers far from Spain. So, and the reason for which I'm saying this is that I actually went to a Spanish school in Morocco, but that made my first language be Spanish, well, together, of course, with Darija, which is the version of Arabic spoken in Morocco.
So my passion for geography followed me through to university. It was a bit difficult for my parents because they were a bit worried as to what I could use geography for at the time. Most people did not know much about the different career options for geography. Therefore, it was a bit difficult for my parents to be okay with my decision to pursue geography. So in the university, I managed to graduate with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Geography and Resource Development with Psychology from the University of Ghana. And that was where I found Geographic Information Systems, that's GIS, as well as remote sensing. That was during my third year as I was researching my elective courses to choose for the year. I realized that this field was really important and that if I was to pursue it, in some years to come, it would deem really important in our country.
Geostationary satellites. So basically designing a satellite which can go up to geostationary orbit where you have all the big telecom satellites and extend their lifetime, because usually these satellites have a lifetime of 15 years, more or less. But the reason for which they finish their lifetime, it's not so much because their electronics stop working, but more because they run out of fuel, so they are no longer able to keep their position. So that was the concept. And yes, so we did this. I was selected as, let's say, the chief engineer, which was quite a nice thing, I guess. And it was a really tough experience. Like, it was my first time kind of managing a group of like a big group of people, each one of them with the with the things they were good at, with the things they were not so good at, just like me. And it was a super good experience, super stressful as well. But it ended up in a really nice way because we won, and I was quite happy with what we had done and so on. The prize was just a box of chocolates and a round of applauses, but it was nice.
I completed my first degree at the university, at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and it was then that I developed a lot of interest in physics. I had a lot of questions to know more about the universe, study the stars, are we alone? Questions about creation, religion, science. I had a lot of questions that I needed answers to. So with that curiosity and that interest and that passion, it drove me into the field of space science and astronomy. It was then that I heard of the development in Africa with radio astronomy, which was the human capital development aspect of the Square Kilometer Array project. And the aim was to bring together a new generation of the African radio astronomers together. So we were the very first batch to be selected for this particular project. We were 10 in number, and that is Professor Marvin Hall, who is the lead from the University of Leeds. The good thing about this project is that it has the theoretical aspect during the training, and we had also the practical aspect, which I enjoyed so much.
So I applied to few Formula One teams. I think I got an interview with Toro Rosso, which was awesome to go visit their facilities and so on. I got rejected for that, but it was still an awesome experience. I got an interview with Mercedes, to which I did not go to because it was really not the kind of thing I wanted. It was more on engines, and I had clear that I wanted to do things related to aerodynamics. And then I also had an interview with Airbus, which I thought had gone very well, but then I was rejected as well. And then I found myself, okay, I have no internship, and I've been rejected pretty much everywhere.
Now, moving on, this is a third thing that I'm really involved in, that is building African women in GIS community. So this is a community that is supposed to help ladies, that is African ladies all over the world who are interested in GIS or the geospatial fields, who are working in the geospatial fields or studying in the geospatial fields, to come together as one to help each other to gain mentorship, to get access to job information, to get access to courses and things that can help them grow in their career, and also to get involved in projects that can help build their portfolios. So here currently we have about 400 plus members residing in over 30 countries. And I'm happy to say that most of our members are benefiting from the community. We have a lot of them residing in Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Egypt, and South Africa. And we are still growing. Therefore, we have about 22 volunteers who are helping my co-founder and I to run the community. So my co-founder is called Chidima Omiegu. She's a lecturer in Nigeria, currently pursuing her PhD. And we work together to help the ladies feel more comfortable and get enough out of the community as they want to help them in their career.
So the next year I had this 12-month internship in Bristol, which is a city in the south of the UK. And I think after 1 month, I already had super clear in my mind that I will dedicate the rest of my career, or at least long term, to space. I was enjoying it so much that there was no doubt. Like I was, okay, this is my thing. And the aspect that I most enjoyed, and I still most enjoy, is systems engineering and doing early phase design of space missions. So when you actually get to touch a bit of everything, be more creative, be more innovative, and so on. And the team where I was the Advanced Concepts team, which was a team which looked at that kind of stuff, like missions that will not happen, in 3 years, but will happen maybe in 7, 8, 10 years. So I was looking at things that were really innovative. And
so talking about conferences and then workshop, I led as the event manager to organize, of course, one of the very big events in Africa in terms of space science, and that was the 4th African Space Generation Workshop, which was a hybrid event held in Ghana. We were able to get a lot of sponsorships, and we made a lot of friends and networks, which is one important aspect. One of the pre-events that we had was the Space Generation Advisory Council Zara Big Data Hackathon competition. It is very important that we always handle data and we manipulate and we use the data. So as part of the workshop, we decided to get that aspect as well, to get our delegate to work on data and process data and compete and give award the winning team.
So please, we are open to members. If you're an African woman and you are interested in the geospatial industry, or you are in the geospatial industry, you can join us. You can find us on LinkedIn and Twitter, and our website at africanwomeningis.org. And please just join us, or just follow us to see our journey and view the geospatial world through the eyes of African women.
Okay, so like I do always advise everyone, you have to start small. Start small means get yourself involved in, you can start from maybe schools, groups, organizations, then you get yourself involved in such groups, and that is where you get most of this information from. That is where you get to hear opportunities out there. You start to make new friends. So you start small from student level. Then if you hear of any organization which is out there, you also get yourself involved in those organizations. I always recommend the Space Generation Advisory Council, which is also another good platform that you can meet new friends, network, and get access to attend a lot of these conferences and workshops, which is another good thing. And one thing also is to try as much as possible to volunteer. You have to develop the attitude of volunteering, which is another good platform. Because if you want to start something like a job straight up, people will not engage you. But if you want to volunteer, everybody would like to work with you. So develop that volunteering. So as you notice when I was presenting, I've volunteered in most of them. Yeah, and I also encourage you, vie for positions. If you see any positions over there, please vie for it. We also encourage most of the ladies, please vie for such positions. We need more ladies to take up the leadership roles as well. And it's one that I've also been pushing forth. I'm trying to get a lot of ladies into astronomy and then space science in Ghana as well. Yeah, so so start small and attend conferences, volunteer, and try and get mentorships too. It's very another important thing. Try and get people who are ahead of you. They will guide you and direct you. They've already been there. They will give you some direction, and I think that really helps me. That really helped me a lot. I think so far that is the only thing that I have to say.
In summary, like, how can our audience get involved in the space sector?
Yeah, well, I think throughout the webinar we have already given plenty of hints of how you can get involved. And I think Kingsley before made a really, really good point, which is be ready to volunteer. I think maybe at the very least 50% of what I do on my week is volunteering, like work, but without getting paid or anything. But you're not gonna get any money, but you get a lot of things that will later on give you money and other things that are better than money. So I would say that look for places where you can volunteer, whether it's the astronomy club on your town, or whether it's SGAC, whether it's the Moon Village Association, whether it's SETS, whether it's some of the things that Siana is doing with GIS women. There is so many organizations. Whether it is Space Hubs itself, there is so many organizations, some bigger, some smaller, that are doing projects and provide opportunities for people to get involved in space and learn things. You just have to go out there and literally type something of space volunteering organizations, and you're gonna find things. And of course, a lot of them you have to apply. Maybe you'll get rejected a couple of times, but that's how these things work in general. And if you want to avoid getting rejected too many times, then you have to do what Kingsley said as well, which is learn things on your own. You don't always need money to learn things. You don't always need to go to university. As he provided the best example, which is programming. You can download Python or Java or whatever for free, and there is plenty of YouTube videos, and you can learn that for free yourself. But also with other things. In fact, even now, like with, let's say, things that were more exclusive like 10 years ago, such as space engineering, now you can find things on YouTube and the free courses where you can learn a lot. You can learn the same things that I learned while I was in the University of Manchester, but without paying the amount of money that I paid. So I think that's the way to go.
And I mean, in that spirit of taking on new challenges, Sayana, in terms of the GIS industry, are there any interesting challenges or big challenges that you think people should be tackling right now? Like, where's the opportunity for someone who's new to try and get involved in GIS? What should they be looking at?
That's a really good question. GIS is kind of evolving like technology really, really fast. And right now we are taking on a lot of mixture of the new tech. So that is in terms of machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and even a bit of the virtual reality. So virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. Yeah. So if you want to enter into GIS, if you're in Africa, you can start with the fundamentals. That is like understanding the different kinds of geodata, database management, a bit of using the solutions, the technologies available. So that's like QGIS, ArcGIS. If you are interested in remote sensing, you learn a bit of that as well. And also, it will be really good for you to add some complementary skills. So for instance, I learned a bit of drone piloting and photogrammetry. You can do that as well to add to your remote sensing knowledge. If you are also interested in creating like the architecture part of the solutions, I would recommend that you learn programming. That's really important. And one thing that is really growing is Python. Python is really, really growing, and it helps you to kind of dive into the artificial intelligence fields. So that really, really helps. We have LiDAR that is also coming up. It's really good for you to learn that as well. We have indoor mapping that is also growing. We also have, actually, there are quite a lot. And it's really exciting to see how much the geospatial field is growing. It's quite overwhelming sometimes, but I'll say take your time, go through the different fields that are available, do your research to know what is of interest to you. If you try to learn everything at once, you get overwhelmed and give up easily. So I would say take your time, do your research, know exactly where your interests lie, do research into the opportunities that are available in those fields, and then start little by little. Get a mentor, get people around you, a community that will help you to learn further and will challenge you to do things, attend events, try as much as possible to learn anywhere. There are so many right now. I'm happy to say that there are quite a number of free courses online that you can take up from Esri, and also some of them are online, like some of the online learning platforms. As you know, COVID has forced a lot of things online, so it's much easier for you to get some learning materials. And yeah, I would say just make sure that whatever you are learning, you share it with the world. Don't hide everything. It might take a while for you to get confidence in your work, but when you do, please don't hide it. Try as much as possible to let people know what you're learning. And it's also helpful if you also teach people. I don't know, but when I was in school, when I teach people, I learn better. So that could also help. And yeah, just continue learning. That's what I can say, honestly.